I said thing on and you
I pressed it a long time before you said that. Hello.
Hello. I don't like this light. You can see through my
I see Dino
bald
out there
spot.
if he's still out there.
You can see my bald spot and my mustache. I wish that my mustache hair would grow in my bald spot. I'm sure a lot of men think that. Why can't my beard hair grow in my...
Wow.
Don't they have like some surgery that they can cut your face off and like patch it onto your...
I don't know. You should look into that.
It's funny. We're gonna have a problem here.
No.
Nope. Did you say nope? Hey, I thought of something that we can talk about.
Yay.
Talk about pop music.
Pop music.
What do you mean, yay? Oh. Wow. So I don't like your leg touching.
Well, I can't. What do you want me to
stop touching me
outside the window, or?
Yes, please.
There's
hi,
Dino. Hi,
Dino. Let's go trusses. Yeah, it's not happening.
Pam's mad. I got him yesterday. Didn't put him up yet.
I thought he was just gonna poof, put him up. So I thought,
that's awesome.
Hate when that happens. It's called brain toots. Brain toots. Okay. So Tiny Shiny Home?
Yeah.
Well, they do this video thing every day. Now, they do have a lot of helpers. They have children to help them, but I was thinking if we did a video every day.
Nope.
And why?
What? Go ahead.
Because you're such a perfectionist that you don't.
Trusses are when a house starts to feel like a real home.
Yes.
A roof. We need a roof. Well, walls are pretty big.
You don't trust me to like put quality footage out on the channel. Is that it?
All right. I don't know what you're saying. What do you want to put out every day?
I don't know. Just like put out a video every day, but it takes you so long. I don't think we could do it every day. I don't even think it's physically possible.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, hola.
Hey there,
Irene and Henry. Welcome. We were having a little discussion that me talking and Brian not listening. Just tell me the truth. Just say it out. It's cool. Just be honest. Why don't you want to? Why wouldn't you want to try to do a video like that every day? Because
we're all right.
It's great.
A video a day keeps the algorithm away.
What's that? How does that work?
The YouTube algorithm is what he's talking about.
Oh. Well, I know that
I just don't feel like I have something to say every day. That's all. It would be,
I would
hey
say
guys,
you have quite a bit to say every day.
Whatever. I put up some more bales today. See you tomorrow.
But you're not putting up bales anymore.
Well, still, that's what it would have been for 3 weeks. I mean, what do you want to?
But so like, what about you get up in the morning and you do your stretching routine?
Hey, Alan.
Your cereal. Hi, Alan.
That doesn't interest me. It just doesn't interest me.
But other people might find it interesting to see how. But you would see him eating the same bowl of cereal every single day.
It just doesn't.
You don't have an interest to do that.
No, I do not.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll just continue with what I'm doing. And
so I guess we're a couple minutes in, so I guess we can talk. The trusses came. Oh, they were in the picture. They're not much to see in the picture. they're not all that much to see in person, really. They're pretty simple.
It
They're
was
just
it was pretty scary though seeing them
oh, wow. I
unloaded.
didn't realize. Yeah, I had never seen that. So, I guess I assume, they're over 30 feet long.
Yes,
So,
it was
they're
scary.
not real big. I mean, they're really just glorified. It's just a little bigger than a rafter, because there's a little more structure to it, but they're only like 18 inches tall, each of them. So it's just a bunch of 2x4s.
Flattened
No,
together.
they are just a single slope. So they're just, you know,
Trusses.
it's
Like the
like making
shed.
an 18-inch tall board go 30 feet long. So because you can't really do that,
It's just a
you
lot
need to
of
make a truss to
boards.
make that happen. But it really is just a flat, just a one slope thing.
What do you call that
So
little piece of metal that holds those together?
oh,
It's got a
mending
name.
plates.
Yeah.
You can call that a mending
A
plate, I
bale a
think.
day is always good
And
in
Brian, you'd be
maintenance.
amazed what folks would be riveted to as you build. I'm sure that's true. I'm not saying that some people wouldn't watch. It doesn't interest me to try and produce that every day and to produce something that I don't know. I mean, that's what you're doing. That's not what I want to do. So,
That's what
you
I'm
know,
doing. That's
it just
fine. I
doesn't
mean,
interest me.
that's
I'm not saying people wouldn't watch it. They probably would. I mean, but that's not what I care to do.
he's just not
Not once a day.
right.
Hi
It's
guys,
because you
here's what
have
happened
too
today.
much
I'm just
he
not,
has too
and
much to do
I don't think
today.
the content's that interesting. I know some people would watch it, but that still means producing that content daily.
Yes.
That does not interest me.
Okay. That's fine.
So anyway, uh the trusses are single slope, so they're pretty simple. But they are, 33-ish feet long, I think. So I just assumed that, even though we helped Bill, our neighbor, with his, I wasn't there when they got delivered. So, I hadn't seen it before. I just made an assumption that they'd have some sort of little machine, with forks and stuff that would kind of pick them up and drive them over to somewhere and put them down or whatever. So,
Hey
hey,
Tom.
Tom, 56 and
Delivery.
clear. It's a little cool. But
Oh, just one thing before you
yeah,
start. I just want to say Brainstorm Acres, Henry and Irene, they said it was a challenge every day for sure.
yeah,
And they
definitely.
do one every single
I'm
day.
sure it
And I
is.
don't I
And
don't know
I
how.
listen, I can appreciate
It's
people
hard.
that do that. I'm not interested. I really am not. So,
It's more that not that he's interested. I don't even
I,
think you have time.
I mean, yes, it's not what I want to work on. Right.
Yeah,
That's
right.
not what I'm.
Anyway, back to the trusses.
So, yeah, so they come on a flatbed with like rollers on it, with little roller dailies on it, and they just kind of tilt that thing up and they slide off the back. And
I could
this
hear it
sucker was
creaking. It
it
was
was
scary.
it was a good 3 feet off the ground or whatever, the back of this thing. And he says, "No, I'm just going to tilt it." And I was like, "Really?" So they just come sliding off, and boom, they just hit the ground. Now,
Well, just one end hit the ground because
well,
then
yeah,
one end hits the ground and then they start shoving pallets
then you put
underneath.
a pallet under it, he pulls forward, it falls a little farther. But yeah, as he's pulling forward, they're just starting to do this. They're starting to bend, and yeah, they're creaking like crazy. It was wild. So
But I did get
I had never seen that
footage.
before.
I got some footage and I'll put I'm sure that'll be on the next video. So hello,
Yikes!
Air
It
Creek,
was scary.
April and Red.
It was scary.
Yeah. And then I was like, are you
Hi,
sure
Brian
those are
and
gonna
Pam.
work?
Somebody with no name? How's that work?
Oh, that's strange.
Hello. So
Hello.
anyway, yeah, that was interesting, the delivery. Um, but it went all right, I guess. So after so I'm still working on the box beam. I cut a bunch of wood yesterday. I cut a bunch of plywood for the box beam. And what I've decided to do, with all the bale work and everything, I got a little. I trust that you guys will be getting your home done soon. It is
Trust.
super scary. Our trusses are only 26. Yeah, yeah, it's wild.
Off
I
grid
mean, I knew
patriot.
what trusses looked like and everything. That delivery process
Hello.
surprised me a little bit. I didn't expect that. Um, so anyway, uh,
Oh, Matt.
As
Oh, hey,
you
Matt.
Oh, hey, Matt. Guess I'm showing as a non. Yeah, you're just kind of blank as far as a name. So, Matt, welcome, Matt. Matt's a guy that we met at our kind of our training course that we took for strawbale and Canelo here in Arizona, a place called the Canelo Project. Welcome, Matt.
That was a while back, like
So, yeah,
2 years
it's been a
ago?
little while, year and a half.
A while
Gosh,
back.
could it have been 2 year? Year and a half, maybe. Um, and the unloading was surprising. Well, yeah, I just didn't expect them to drop like it. I literally thought they would, like any other delivery of lumber or whatever. They always have a little, like, gosh, I don't even know what to call those things, but a forklift, I guess, a forklift
Oh,
where they
right.
just grab it and they move it around and they put it wherever So I had pallets set up and I said, "How about over there?" And he's all, "I can't get the truck over there." And I was like, "Oh." So it was a little weird. I mean, it all worked out fine. It's just when he dropped them off and they hit the ground, I was like, "Wow." um,
Oh, it's,
Hey
Scott.
there, Scott.
Hello.
It's been almost 2 years since the class. So anyway, as anyone who watches any of our videos knows, I like to kind of draw things before I do them and everything. So what has happened with all the bale work is, and if you've been following along, kind of the half bale at the top, things have changed a little bit from my original plan. Not drastically, but things have changed here and there, right? So when it came time to do the box beam, I almost kind of just jumped in there and started winging putting it together or whatever. And then I realized, I think even just today, maybe yesterday, but it hit me that, I think it serves me really well to do all these drawings, and things tend to turn out pretty good, and I can kind of
Mm.
anticipate a lot of things, and I don't waste a lot of time and materials when I've got it all drawn out on paper and I know how things are going to go together. So I was really close to just kind of jumping right into the box beam without really, understanding exactly what I was going to do and exactly how things were going to lay out. Um, so I decided to kind of stop today, and I went back to my SketchUp drawing of the house, and I made the changes that have changed. I never had a half bale at the top in the SketchUp drawing, and bales were sort of moved a little bit. And keep in mind, this could kind of be our, once the whole thing is covered over, this will show us kind of what's happening underneath or whatever, if we ever wanted to know. I don't know if it'll matter, but it would show us what is underneath, because the picture is accurate. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, I thought that was important to kind of catch up the drawing to where we really are and draw out the box beam very specifically of how I want to piece together every little piece so that I'm not trying to do it up on top of the bales, because I've decided I think that I'm going to build it in place. There's a couple reasons for that, because I think it'll be stronger if I build it in place as opposed to trying to put it together in pieces on the ground and then connect those pieces up on top. Where they connect, that'll be a weak spot. So I'd like to kind of do it in place so that I can kind of overlap different joints with different pieces of wood and stuff. So I think that'll be better in the long run. So I don't want to have to try and be making decisions on the fly and moving things around and not really know what I'm doing, especially 8 feet off the ground, or more than 8 feet off the ground, really, because the foundation is kind of up off the ground a little bit. Um,
Do you have the
so I went back to
foundation
the
in
drawing.
SketchUp?
Yes, it is in SketchUp. The tires aren't really there, but everything above the
Oh,
tires is
okay,
there.
because I was wondering if you for the plumbing, if you might have to dig through some
I
tires
don't
or
know.
something.
I don't know. But anyway, so I decided to go back and update the SketchUp drawing, and right now I'm drawing the box beam again so that, um, oh yeah, archive actual pictures as you continue to build. It will save heartache later. Absolutely, I'm sure that's true. That's one of the reasons we do our videos. It's
We
it's
could
not
go back
it's
and
not
look
the
at
reason, but it is a reason. I
we have
mean,
gone back and
yeah,
looked
sure,
at stuff.
I have. I mean, you forget the process you use sometimes. You forget what things look like sometimes. So yeah, it's nice to have that. Yeah, that proof. So yeah, we have pictures and the videos. I think the videos are helpful that way. But the drawing is that too. So I wanted the drawing to be accurate, and I wanted to be able to kind of be ready for that next step a little better. So I spent some time drawing today, and even though that means a day or two of thinking and drawing, it usually ends up with a better product, I think, out there. So I caught myself before I kind of went too far, and not that I couldn't have figured it out, but I think I prefer to kind of have a pretty good plan before I go into these things. So, and I had a plan, I've had a plan for this stuff all along, but it was 3, 4, 5 steps ago or whatever. Hey,
Oh,
Warren.
hey,
Hey, it's been a
Warren.
while. Um,
And Jill, if you're there.
so I think I might not have responded to his comment yet, but Warren asked when the trusses are getting here. They got here yesterday, if you didn't hear already.
Matt says, I think it would be much easier to build the box beams on the ground.
It definitely would.
How much
Unfortunately,
overhang?
because of the way I'm building it, and that the plywood is going to be on the bottom, and I don't want to build it in pieces, in separate pieces, and put it up there, because then I would have to connect those pieces. Those connections, like I said, would be weak spots. I think I want to have like plywood and the let's say 2x4s that are on top of the plywood. I want those joints to be kind of offset so that it doesn't all happen at the same place and you don't get a weak spot where there's a joint.
You're gonna
So
have to
because
answer
of
these
that,
questions.
I'm trying to build it in place. So
How much
Dean
overhang?
says how much overhang? 2 feet of overhang, and that I did the geometry of the summer sun and the winter sun and everything. So the idea is that the summer sun shouldn't hit our south side really at all. The high summer sun should basically hit the ground before it catches the house. So, and that's the idea. So I did the math for that, or the geometry. Warren asked, when are they going up? Very soon. We were going to try it this weekend, but I'm not quite ready yet for it.
So we canceled.
So I postponed.
Postponed.
Are you only doing plywood on bottom? Says Matt. That is the plan at the moment. Again, it's a little different than what we learned, of course, but I was going to do the plywood is on the bottom, basically to squash to squeeze the bales. But if I also put plywood on the top, that creates a cavity now that needs to be filled with something, some sort of insulation or something. And so that presented a problem. I thought about trying to do spray foam insulation in there, but I found out that spray foam insulation doesn't do well into closed cavities, because the second it leaves the nozzle, it basically, before it has a chance to expand everywhere, it can harden up kind of right there and not really fill the cavity. And I confirmed that with the spray foam company. So
thanks Henry and Irene for stopping by.
Thanks,
they
guys.
Gotta go edit.
Excellent.
So I mean, it's going to be Thanksgiving soon. Do you think that we'll be doing it before, or you just don't know?
I'm not going to make any more predictions.
Okay. All right.
Because what I've learned from all this is it doesn't matter what I predict. It'll happen when it happens.
Warren says mine will be here on the 18th. I can come and help.
I'm thinking the weekend after Thanksgiving. Yeah. We've got I'm helping. I don't think Sherry got on. But Scott's on here. We're doing a move.
Yeah, we're going,
but we'll see. I'm also going to try, just to kind of make sure things, I'm going to try and put a couple up with just a couple of people, maybe just real local here, to just kind of see and make sure I know what I'm doing. Because that's another thing, that I tend to do when I do a project. If it's in pieces, like the trusses are, I prefer to kind of try one or two with a minimum amount of help before
Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, it's Scott's move that's happening Thanksgiving weekend.
That'll be a great Thanksgiving.
So we might do a couple of tests very soon, and then hopefully, if those tests are successful, then we can put things up pretty quickly. But I don't know exactly how many people it'll take to make that happen. But I like to try it with
lots of beer.
That sounds like
Brian doesn't really. I don't know if
that sounds like a scary move.
Brian. Brian. Yeah, remember what happened last time? Didn't he run over the house? You thought I forgot about that.
Sure, he says give Brian 2 bottles of vodka. That's a good idea. So anyway, yeah.
Just kidding, Scott.
There's a lot of stuff going on with the box beam and everything. And again, I'm just trying to kind of regroup right now, make sure that things that have changed along the way, that I sort of account for them, and I make sure I know what I'm doing. I'm kind of reassessing that next step, because again, I might have had an idea of what I was going to do for the box beam 2-3 steps ago, but maybe something, is a little different now, or I've looked at something a different way, or something's popped into my head that I didn't think of, and that has happened in this past week or so. So I'm just kind of regrouping, reassessing where I'm at.
Thanks for stopping by,
Thanks for
Matt.
stopping in, Matt. We'll be talking. 3 or 4 people would be plenty for trusses only. Yeah, I think that's true. I'm definitely going to try the first couple at least with just a handful of people, just to kind of make sure I know what I'm doing. And then, if we don't finish it up right away, or if we want to do it a lot faster or something, maybe I'll get a handful of people out here. But I actually prefer the 3, 4 people kind of thing.
Yeah, he gets pretty, and I don't know. I think you get a little nervous when there's too many people.
I definitely do. Yeah.
What is it called? Too many cooks
In the
spoil
kitchen. Oh, spoil the soup.
the soup.
Henry and I. Oh, usually gotta run. All right. See you later, guys.
Thanks, y'all. Gotta run.
Oh, so they're saying they're up north, right?
Mid-60s during the
Or
day,
I'm sorry,
freezing at night.
Are they like Missouri or something?
No.
Or are they northern
Ash
Arizona?
Fork
They're northern
area?
Arizona. I'm getting them mixed up with somebody.
It's like up in the cold part, so it does already get freezing.
It's warmer up there too.
But they have a nice greenhouse.
Sure.
I would like to have one eventually, but it's a lot of work. So, Oh, it's Dawn. Hey, Dawn.
Hey, Dawn. It's just too good to be true. Anyway.
And Jim.
Hey, Jim and Jessica. How y'all doing?
What's up, Jim and Jessica?
So we got our trusses yesterday, and we do have all our bales up, but I'm working the box beam now. So I was basically just saying I'm just kind of regrouping, reassessing where I'm at. I've gone back to my drawing to make sure that it's up to date and make sure that I know what I'm doing for that next step. So today was kind of a regroup kind of day. Left of Flagstaff. Really?
Thanks, Dawn.
I would have thought right of Flagstaff. When I think of northern Arizona, I always think towards like Pine Top and Show Low, off that way.
I know it's up in the hills. I'm a little upset. No
congrats
pizza.
on the trusses. Thanks.
Hey, Jim, if you
Sorry,
want to come
Jim.
by, I'll pick up a Little Caesars. No, I want to try the pizza oven again. I really do, but it is kind of small inside.
It's small. We'll have to redo that pizza oven, but
eventually
I think you've been learning a lot, which is the point. That's what I wanted you to do. I knew you'd have to build a couple probably to get it dialed in. Now we'll just have to make it a little bigger. Guess who is trying out the Mophie?
Oh, Mophie.
What's the Mophie?
Like isn't that Little Caesars? I call it Little Sleezers. Mophie. Isn't that like something to make your internet speed up?
I was going to say, is it something about internet? No, I haven't heard of it.
I never have either. I was just guessing.
It's a wireless router. Never heard of it. Wow.
$20 a month.
Wow. Awesome.
Pizza oven. I know. It does get hot inside.
I can tell you everything about the Mophie. Oh, sweet. Never heard of it. I'll have to talk to somebody about that. Let's see. It's running on T-Mobile right now.
You did go to T-Mobile.
Did you guys go to T-Mobile, Jim?
So tomorrow night will be the test because Jim will do his live tomorrow, hopefully.
Maybe it's Mo-Fi if it's Wi-Fi.
Mo-Fi. Like mobile fi.
So mobile fi as opposed to wireless fi. Well, anyway, that's good.
Oh, hey, we had a fun weekend.
Billy, hey, Bill. What's going on?
Billy,
have you been paying attention, Bill? So our friend Bill used to come out here quite a bit, but he hasn't been out in a long time. Do you know what it looks like, Bill?
Little Sleezers. Billy.
Yes, congrats. Thanks, Bill. Yeah, there's a house where you used to park.
Oh, that's right.
Wow. A seizure salad.
Seizure salad.
Anyway, what else is going? What about the
we had a fun weekend. Yeah. We went to Taylor's for my birthday. My little Taylor. It was her birthday. 26 years old.
Yeah.
and we also went to a party at our friend Jared
A
moved
housewarming
from
party up in
Tucson to
Phoenix.
Phoenix, and he had a housewarming party, and I got to take an awesome shower in a big shower, and it was hot.
A
I don't
big shower? That was a regular shower.
Well, it was a regular shower, but to me it was big.
Well,
And
anything's
you.
big compared to this.
He has to do squats in that shower.
We're working on the roof, Billy. The trusses just came yesterday. So, yeah, I'm trying to basically put a top on the bales so that we can put the trusses on.
My little
So
baby.
it'll be real soon.
My baby turned 26. I got a 26-year-old and a 27-year-old.
Some sort of stupid
Crazy.
cold bug thing, but getting over it. Don, were you sick? Where did you
Oh,
store the trusses?
no.
So the trusses are sitting right out front. And if you saw the picture
On the ground.
on this for the live, the trusses are right up front. I
Don't
just wanted to
steal
put
them.
them somewhere where they'd be easy to carry in, and I think we'll be putting them on pretty soon. And knock on wood, the
Can people
weather's
steal
been
them?
looking good.
Nobody can.
It would be tough for them to steal them. They'd have to have a really big vehicle or a bunch of people. So they're not really stored. They're kind of just sitting right in front of the place.
Don't say that. Somebody will steal them. Jim will come and steal them like he stole from Pam.
Good luck, Jim.
Jim doesn't need trusses. Sorry, I'm joking around.
They're pretty big.
I think he'll miss everything in California.
Have fun, Don. And Don's got for Thanksgiving. So you've got a visitor coming here soon, and then you're gonna go back to California.
I'll steal
for
them anyway.
Are you two using the T-Mobile 5G home internet? I believe we are. We've got a little router
thing. We got a thing.
Yeah. It used to be just hotspot, but that started to not behave very well. And then T-Mobile started advertising that they were giving out well, not giving out, but they were trying these routers, and I gave it a try, and we've been using it ever since. I forget how long it's been, but we've been real happy with it.
I get absolutely ridiculous fast internet. Oh.
Wow.
I get ridiculously slow in the after. It just takes a long time in the afternoon.
Pam and I on our phones seem to have different behavior, which is odd because they're the same exact phone.
No, it's on the laptop that I have trouble.
Well, you have problems on your phone too. And also, we seem to have different behavior between our desktop and our laptop computer, and they're both wireless to the router. So I don't really understand the difference, but the laptop seems to be a lot slower. So anyway, that's interesting. This MoFi or MoFi stuff. I might have to talk to somebody about that because we've been happy with ours, but I mean, it's not the cheapest solution in the world. It's not as bad as Verizon, I thought, which is one of the reasons we switched to it, but it's not super cheap. So I might be interested in something else.
Any news, Brian? I can chat. Don?
I'll talk to you, Don. This is something I hadn't heard of. T-Mobile home internet wasn't great for us either. We use Visible. Yeah, see, I mean, people ask us sometimes about the internet, and I'm always hesitant. I don't tell people, hey, you should get T-Mobile, because my experience is it just kind of depends on where you're at. Sometimes it can be great, sometimes not. When we first got it and we were in Phoenix, it was actually terrible. No, this was years ago, but I mean, even just our phone service, it was bad. And but we knew we were leaving. So
oh, great. Here we go again. Oh, Jim's on it.
Oh, good job, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
So we knew we were leaving Phoenix. So and we knew that it was, I guess at the time it was Derek and Hannah had told us that they had, and they're really close to us, obviously. So we knew we'd have kind of similar, and they said they had great reception. So we switched to T-Mobile while we were in Phoenix. And even though it was bad in Phoenix for us, we knew it or believed it would be good down here, and it has been good. But like I said, the hotspot thing kind of started to go south on us. I don't know if that's just increased traffic over the amount of time, over the first couple of years we were here. It just seemed to get worse and worse, but this one's been behaving pretty well, so we've been pretty happy. But it's good to know there's some alternatives out there, because I really wasn't aware of a decent alternative. Visible was working, then started throttling. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. The thing that bothers me, even with like our T-Mobile, it seems like no matter what you find, you can be happy with it for a while, and then all of a sudden it just starts to sort of degrade. And I don't know whether they try and hook you in with better service in the beginning on purpose, or whether that's just traffic that as people find out about it over time. I don't know what the deal is, but I don't know what our numbers are.
I don't know
I
what
haven't
that
really paid attention, but
I don't know how ours compares.
I don't know what our numbers are off the top of my head.
I
I have
have
trouble
trouble.
getting any signal in rural West Virginia. Greeting from morning coffee
Hey,
time in
David.
Korea. Hey, David. Your recent videos have been really cool and informative. Thanks,
Thank
David.
you.
Yeah, they should have been hopefully, interesting to watch and a little more. There's a little more going on. Um, so hopefully that'll continue for a while here as I continue working. Um, the bale work is pretty much
Oh,
done.
it's RG. Hi, RG.
Hey, y'all. Sorry for being late. I hope all is well on the build and the roof. Good evening to all in the chat. Let's see. Um, yeah, I mean, we're not completely done with bales because I think we are still gonna try and squeeze some in. Thanks, Jim.
Under the water.
Under the
I mean, under the water.
under the water?
Oh my gosh.
Under the windows?
Wow, windows.
Under the water. Yeah, I wasn't sure how we were gonna fill under the windows, but I think I can find a way to put bales under there. There'll be small bales, of course, and we'll have to do some kind of stuffing in some areas in between them. But
Seriously impressed by your bench pressing bales a zillion feet.
oh,
Oh my gosh, I
that
can't
was
believe.
fun.
Yeah, not everyone, and that's definitely a hard job that I can't believe he can do that, but I
So
certainly couldn't do it.
David asks, has all the rain affected the pounded tire foundation with any erosion?
Not really.
Not really. There was a minor, and again, this is mostly because there was no roof over it. So I don't think that'll continue in the future. And it was my own mistake, I think. If you watched our videos on how we did the foundation, I don't think there was necessarily a problem with how we did the foundation. But just like anything else, when you create some kind of
Base.
when you raise something up, right, to create a base, you have to be careful about where you stop that, right, because it's the edges that are going to erode, right. And the problem was I stopped basically at the tires, and then I just kind of sloped off a little dirt right off the edges of the tires. So yes, with all that rain at one corner, and it just so happened that corner, um, the way the tires laid out, they just didn't kind of stick out beyond the sill plate, the actual wood of the base of the house. They just didn't stick out that far on one side. On the other side, they stuck out a little farther. But again, when you just place tires and they're kind of random sizes, when we got to the other end, it was like just enough, right? And I didn't put like an extra tire because I was beyond where I needed to be. So I just stopped. Well, looking back, I probably should have done an extra, especially around the corners. I should have done a couple extra tires, and I think I can still go out back after the fact and add a couple of tires and a little extra dirt, because it did at the very corners. There was a little bit of erosion, and there was just the tiniest little bit of sagging of kind of the foundation. So I actually did some, like, pounded some rocks up in there and stuff. Now that's just kind of a temporary
That was
solution,
my idea.
but we will add a lot more dirt. Basically, you need dirt to back up the dirt that you've got there. And of course, when there's a roof over all this, that'll help because there won't be as much water hitting it and stuff like that. So I want to say, I can't say it didn't affect it at all. It did a little, but it barely affected it. And I don't think it was anything really bad. So I was overall pretty pleased, but I did make a minor adjustment, and I would do it slightly differently in the future. I probably should talk about that at some point during some of the videos.
Won't we add some more tires though, just to kind of have like a base for the porch?
I still don't know how we're going to do the porches or the patios or whatever for sure, but I think I'll do a little more tire work at the corners, basically just to back them up. So hopefully everybody understands what I'm explaining, but basically there should just be a little bit more tire real estate at the corners, so that dirt doesn't want to just kind of slope or erode away, and those tires might just kind of sink just the tiniest little bit. So that's what I would do differently.
Did you decide how many supportive sections you will use for your big wall?
Yeah, so yeah, we did. So it was yesterday's video, right? I think we showed the whole thing. I did use 3 what I called like cheater bucks or fake bucks. It was basically just one piece of what I did for a buck, left and right of a window or a door. I basically just took that left or right side of a couple of 2x4s and I just kind of embedded it in the wall of straw along that one wall that was all straw, the western wall for us. And I did three of them. I did one of them, one bale in from each corner, and then I put another one in the middle. So I don't know how much that will help, but it'll help a little bit. It didn't take a lot of time. That's not a lot of resources or anything. So we put three little extra supports along that western wall that was meant to be really all straw. It doesn't have any windows or doors. So let's see. Email for helps. Let me
Evolving.
stop in. That sounds like a plan. Congratulations on still evolving.
It was a Facebook thing. Did I showed you that Facebook thing that it said something
Oh,
about Brian is
yeah.
still
It was like a
evolving?
newspaper column or something like that. That was funny.
That was
We're gonna build a gabion around everything. Yeah,
Jim,
we are actually considering. We're thinking we're probably gonna put a bunch of rocks around the bottom.
gabions would be good too.
And yeah, I mean, we'll do something around the base. So the combination of having a roof and having a decent base around it, I don't think that foundation is going to be an issue. But it was unfortunate that it did go through all that rain, and it did show the tiniest little bit of sag in two of the corners. But I mean, it was really minor. But I think I could have prevented it, so I would do it a little differently.
Warren, are you doing a what kind of home are you doing? Do you remember? Was
Warren?
it a
Well, I don't know if Warren's is the
was it
house
the
or
storage
just
or what do you call it?
like a workshop, but I know he's doing stuff across two containers, right?
Containers. Is that what those are called?
I guess
Shipping
containers.
containers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Don said, "I'm sure you'll feel better about the extra supports." I think that was wise. I needed to do it, even if it's just for my own peace of mind, like you mentioned in a comment. So yeah, I think it'll all be fine going forward. I say it's what I do differently. It's not even really
Containers, okay.
different. I think I would just go the slightest bit farther in the corners for a little bit of extra.
I think it's gonna be fine.
It will be fine. It'll be fine.
I feel like I have a large hump on my back.
Well, congratulations to you, Warren, as well, for getting to that point.
That's gonna
awesome.
be awesome. We haven't seen you guys around. How are you and Jill doing?
Were you on the road for a long time, Warren? Haven't seen you in a while.
What's up, Warren?
But
anything else going on?
What else is going on? I think that's about it.
I've been experimenting with cob.
Oh yeah, Pam's been building little can wall, type structures, very small, like tables basically. But she's basically just playing around with the mud and putting cans in them to see kind of what she can come up with.
It's pretty solid. Like
in 10,000 years, archaeologists will be looking at your neighborhood and things, and foundations will be standing while major cities have disappeared. It's funny you should say that because I don't know if Billy's still on here or not, but a couple of years ago when we were telling Billy and his wife what we were doing, his wife was concerned because she thinks in terms of today's houses and things, right? So she was concerned and she kept questioning me. And Billy said, "Why are you giving him such a hard time?" And she said, "I'm worried." She said, "Are there any examples of this kind of building, standing for a long time?" And I said,
"Adobe? Is that?"
There's a lot of examples.
The Indian ruins.
So that was interesting.
Native American ruins.
But have you been showing videos of some of the stuff you've been doing?
I showed a little bit. I think I can't keep
it all basically
straight.
Which I think is wise. She's just starting to play with our dirt. Because
playing in the mud.
It's not going to be long before we're trying to make a lot of plaster. So the more she's getting familiar with it, the better. So
I'm experimenting with
been making that
dirt
Monet
just to
That's
see
what I thought, Warren.
If like what we would get if we were just using unsifted and see how it holds together.
She's going like super basic, and
for now.
Yep.
But then when I
did you put straw in it?
Yeah, a lot. But when I cobbed over the pizza oven, I actually did a little thing where I what do you call it? Sifted the sand, and I got some sparkly sand from the wash, and then I just kind of rubbed it on or what do you call that
Trowel.
troweled it on. But I never did go back and linseed it or anything like that. But it still looks pretty good because I
It
kept
looks
it
all right.
covered.
She puts like it's almost like a screen,
Yeah,
like a window screen
over the top of
over the
it.
top of it.
That's just because it was sitting out there.
Yeah, it was
It's
just
got a little
there.
piece of a tarp over it and a screen over it, so
It's a
it's
pretty
kinda
dense screen, so it
protected.
doesn't really the rain doesn't get through it very much. So even though it's
Check
out
out
exposed, it's
Adobe
kinda
in here.
covered. Yeah, there's so these things can last a long time.
Yeah, it's
Um,
crazy. I took one of the bricks that I made and I was, like, throwing it really
it's
hard
funny,
on it, and it was very solid.
since we've been here, we've played around with our mud a few times, right? I mean, we did some videos on making bricks and things, and the things that we've done, like after we played around with them, we basically just leave them sit out, because they
Oh,
none of them,
yeah, it's
not many
crazy.
of them really had a real purpose, like the bricks were just for fun.
Yeah,
Um,
and I made,
your
like, a little, I put them like, sideways, and then I put one on top of that, and then I put something else on top, like a little roof, and, it's still out there, and it's solid.
and when you like covered that one bale with
Yeah,
mud,
yeah,
we basically just leave things out in the open. I mean, not covered at all.
to see how
And
they
and yeah,
will.
they do show erosion and things like that, but it's surprising how well they do for being completely exposed, which when we really do this stuff, I mean, there'll be roof over it and things like that. So,
Right.
um,
Walking around. Good evening.
no problem, guys. So Dawn asked, how many trusses exactly did you get? We got a total of 18, and 16 of them are the same and very simple, and 2 of them are unique. The 2 that are unique go on the edges of the house, and their uniqueness is they have a double top cord. So the pieces of 2 by 4 are called cords. So there's a bottom cord and a top cord, and on 16 of them, it's just one top cord. It's just a 2 by 4. Now, of course, they're all kind of pieced together with those mending plates and whatnot, right? And they've got webbing
You
in
answered
between
that
them.
question about how many trusses?
I'm answering it right now
Okay.
and
I
talking
kinda
about
zoned out.
the trusses.
Sorry.
Um, the uniqueness in the 2 is that they have 2 by 4s, kind of stacked on top of each other on edge, at the top. And the reason they have that is so that, like I said, those 2 trusses go at the edges of the house, the sides of the house, from left to right, not the slope direction, but the other direction. So the trusses don't actually extend beyond the house to give you overhang on the left and right sides, basically. The way you get that is you do what's called a lookout, um, where you basically attach a piece of wood, basically
Excuse me.
one truss in. You attach a 2 by 4 to that truss, you run it out, and you notch the end truss, which is why it has 2 by 4s on top of each other, so that you can notch the top one out. And you run that 2 by 4 through that notch, and you let that 2 by 4 hang out over the side of the house, and you attach another piece of wood. That's how you get your overhang. It's not actually a truss that hangs out on the sides. It's like a rafter. It's just one piece of wood.
The truss
So
prices did go down. We paid less than what we were gonna pay.
yes, they definitely went down, from, I think it was May, and we asked for our
It was
quote,
gonna be
I think pretty
5,000.
much at the peak. This particular place was something like 4,400 or something at the time.
Oh, okay.
Other places were 6 and 7,000 for the same thing.
Oh, that's right.
Um, so they definitely did come down. They came down over $1,000, but lumber prices are still kind of, apparently, right before they built mine, they even crept back up a little bit, but they definitely were way lower than the last time we asked. That's for sure. So yeah, they did. It was way better.
Are you reading that
Um,
question?
they went down
Give
and
me
back
some.
up some. So yeah, that's what Warren said. Don
Very
says,
good.
did the trust company recommend you do special end cores, or were you in the know about the architecture beforehand? Oh, uh, so I knew, there's a couple of different ways to get an overhang, but I knew one of them was kind of this lookout,
My
which I
throat is
actually
getting
did
dry.
something kind of
Sorry.
like it on the shed. So I was aware of it, but I didn't know how they made it happen in the trusses. So he basically told me about that, about the double top cord. I didn't know about that.
I'm
Um,
not sick. My throat is just dry.
affordable desert. Oh yeah, 7,000. Yeah, it
Mm.
was really shocking the difference in quotes that we got that last time we asked. I mean, it was wild. So even though all the quotes were high, you know, the Southwest Trust, which is where we ended up getting, was the lowest. They just, at the time, they had a really long lead time, and they didn't, because the lead time was so long, they didn't guarantee their prices. The nice thing about the other places was their lead times were shorter, and the price they gave you was the price you were going to pay. But with Southwest Trust, because it was like a 12, 13
Huh.
week lead time or whatever, they said the price will be whatever it is when we get there. And so it was basically like, it was just a crapshoot. We set some chairs out there recently and looked through the window.
Lawn chairs.
What is the snow load? The snow load in our area is almost nothing. We do get snow from time to time, but it's pretty rare, and it tends to melt off pretty quick, so it's not much. The actual number that's in the code, I can't remember. I know the frost line in the code is actually listed as 0 for us. And I forget what the snow load is, but it's almost nothing.
Ouch, this thing's starting to hurt. I'm sitting on this
You get a good deal on
edge
eBay
thing
for your
here.
MoFi. Anyway,
Can we wrap up soon?
we can.
I'm tired.
Pam's tired, y'all.
We
Anyway,
appreciate everybody stopping by.
thanks everybody for stopping in. I might be asking some folks about this MoFi or MoFi stuff, and I'll Google it too, but I wasn't aware of it. So we've been fairly happy with what we got, like I said, but it's not
all right.
It's not crazy expensive, but it's not crazy cheap either. So I would be interested in a potential alternative.
Tarred and feathered?
Tarred. You're tarred.
I'm tarred, yeah.
It's not you. It's not you, it's her.
It's me. I'm just sleepy because
I
don't know. I don't ever sleep good
we
anymore.
both sleep like crap now, really. And it's sad.
We don't sleep.
I think it's mostly age, I think. I don't know.
It's Brian's age.
Anyway, well, that gets everybody up to date on what we're doing. Like I said, right now, at the moment, I'm kind of regrouping, reassessing. I'll get back out there really soon. And we will get those trusses on really soon. And I want to follow that up. That's another thing I have to do with this regrouping is I have to get that next step ready, which is basically sheathing. That's going to be something I'm going to have to make an order basically from a Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, and probably get it delivered. So who knows what the lead time on that is. And I've talked to the metal folks again for the metal roof. But so we don't want to just stop at the trusses. I mean, I want to get a roof on that thing quick so that at least the inside is protected from any weather that might be coming. And we'll still have to kind of protect the outside. But so anyway,
thanks so much.
Good luck on work on top of the bales. Enjoy your live shows. Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Ooh, big question, Brian. What is it? Don's got another
question.
What's the quote on your metal roof build, please? So for us, for I'm trying to incorporate the extra, the overhang or whatever. So we're about 37 feet wide, I believe, that the panels would run. If the panels run up and down the roof like this, from left to right, we're about 37 feet, which those panels cover about 3 feet each. So they cover 3 feet each. So it's about 13 panels across. And those panels have to be, the number was something like 30. I think about it. So, something in the neighborhood of 31, 33 feet, something like that. And the quote was $2,500. So this is the third time I'll have used Thunder Mountain Metal Sales. I've been pretty pleased with them. I've been pretty pleased with their prices in the past. I think it's all fairly reasonable stuff. This obviously is the biggest one I've done so far, so it's a little more than I've paid for other stuff. But it was $2,500 for the metal, and that's all the trim and the screws and the whole everything. So
thank you to everyone.
Thanks everybody. 39.33 was 2,800. Okay. Yep. All right, guys. Well, wow, we still almost pushed an hour. We were going to keep it a little bit shorter tonight, but we're a little bit shorter. Thanks everybody for coming by. Thanks for watching. Come on back, and we'll try and keep pushing forward and keep the videos interesting.
We'll try.
We'll talk to y'all next time.
Oh yeah, Benadryl.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Your stream will stop.